mercy come and wash away what? This is part 7, music. Now the next thing, if you're gonna want to actually create your own music, well, if you know how to play an instrument, then great, you've got that down. You can just go ahead and record that. But if you want to actually create different sounds, like different synthesizer sounds, then you're going to need something like a keyboard, a synthesizer, which is what I have here. It's a Yamaha MM8, and it's pretty expensive, but if you're just starting out, you're not going to need something that big. But you're going to need a synthesizer in order to create different sounds, which are called MIDI sounds, which we'll be getting into now. Okay, now so I'm going to take you through the actual recording process on the software. Now, when I went to school for my audio engineering degree, I actually learned on Pro Tools, which is a great software, but I feel like it's a little hard to understand. And so after I graduated, a friend told me about this product, which is called Logic Pro. And it's also another Apple product. And I learned it, and I learned it quick because it was really easy to understand. A lot easier than Pro Tools, I feel. But you can use whatever program you want. The actual recording process is going to pretty much work exactly the same. So here we go. This is Logic Pro, and here we've got an audio track on here that I put here. But if you want to add new tracks, you just go to Track, New Track, and you've got this audio here. You can do software instrument track, which will be the MIDI. We're going to put that there for now, but let's go back to this audio here, and we're going to record some audio. So first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have all the volume and the gains down before you plug anything in. So you'll plug in your mic here and then the audio interface, and then you can, if it's a condenser mic, it's going to need what's called phantom power, or the 48 volts. And so then you'll turn that on, and then this is where you start turning the gain up. That you'll want to get a healthy level for it. So you can see here as I'm talking, this blue mic is picking up my vocals, and so this will turn on what it's the real time of what the level is. So if I were just gonna sit right here and just talk, I would want to turn this gain up until I'm just touching yellow. That's a healthy level to be at. So I'm turning it up, turning it up, turning it up, turning it up, and there's right about at the where it needs to be. So then I can go in and press record, and then I can either press this or I can press R on the keypad, and I'll show you what happens. Check, 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 check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Check, check, check. So there, it just recorded what I just said, and now I'm going to play it back so you can hear what it did. Check, 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 check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Check, check, check. And that click you can turn off right there. So that's how you record audio. And then we can do the same thing if we create a new audio track. And this one, let me pull up the show mixer. Got this here. So this one I actually want to be input 2. And that's going to pull up this guitar I have plugged in. And let's get this. So there's my signal. Let's turn the gain up a little bit. Okay, so then let's go here and press record. We need to make sure the R is highlighted. Let's take that R off. We don't want to record there. Okay, so let's go there and press record. 2, 3, check, check, check. So there's that signal there. Let's listen to it. So there is another way you can record. That's how you record an instrument such as a guitar. Now let's go to this one where we're going to actually create sounds ourselves. We go over here to the library and let's go. We've got all these different options here, you know, bass, we've got other guitars, drum kits, piano. Let's just go to synthesizer so we can create some interesting sounds. Let's go lead, and I don't know, let's just do something relatively random here. Let's do techno lead, see what that gives us. Alright, so now I'll go to my keyboard here and press some keys. So you've got different sounds like that. Let's try this. What's a scream lead? So let's record something with that. Again, have the R selected and then press record. So there, and if you double click this, it'll bring up this little window and it shows you all the individual notes, which you can actually change the strength of it, and you can zoom in, zoom out, and you can even move them around and move them closer, what have you. So that's the basics of recording, vocals, instruments, and MIDI. Okay, now once you have your audio clips recorded, now we got to do a little bit of editing of that audio. So if you go to your mixer here and you've got audio effects, and one of the first things you want to do for, say for vocals, is do EQ. And you've got this window that pops up, and so you'll play whatever your audio is. Check, 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 check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Check, check, check. See how that's different? Let's go back and let's change something else. Check, 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 check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Check, check. Okay, so that is EQ. Now for something like this, and here's a way to you drag right here and it'll just go through a repeat cycle. Check, 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 so check. Let's do 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Check, check, EQ check. Check, 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 check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Check, check, check. Okay, so here's without. Check, 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 check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Check, check, check. And here's with. Check, 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 check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 check check check. So it's a little clearer, but that was just a really quick EQing. But you know, just work with that, and the next thing you want to do is the compression. And what this does is it basically will take all the lower sounds, bring them up, and all the higher sounds and bring them down, so it's more of a level ground between all the sounds. And so it'll actually help make whatever you're recording is sound a little bit louder. And so what we do here is, let's bring this, where's my ratio, I'll just do 2.1. You know, you can change the attack and release here. That means when it's attack is when the compressor starts, release is when it lets go. The threshold is how much compression. And so let's listen to this. Check, 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 check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 check 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 check. 1 2 1 2
so
1 2 3 check 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 check. So you can change that, and then there's, you know, several other things you can do here. As you can see, you know, distortion, you've got modulation, phasers and tremolos, and you can change pitch. You know, these would be things like auto-tune or Melodyne, but not as advanced as Melodyne, of course. Reverb. So, you know, you can do all those different things with that. And then you want to make sure when you're doing your recordings that whenever you finish, your output here is not reading red. And so I'll show you what I mean by that. Check, 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 check. See that? 1 2. That right there, you don't want to have that. So whenever you get all your recording done and have it all at the right levels that you want, make sure that this is not in the red. And once you do have all your recordings done, you want to do what's called mastering. And before I go to that, let me show you automation, which is right here. You can actually manually move the volume around. You can also do that with this, where you change to you know, touch or latch or write. And so let's do touch. And as this is going on, if I play this, check, 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 I can move 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 check, check, down, check, and up, check, and then it'll check, 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 automatically do that for me. Back to once you're finished recording, you got everything where you want it to be. You'll go to here, you'll do linear phase EQ, which is again doing the same thing, but this is going to be when you're listening to all of your sounds combined and you're doing EQ with that. And then you'll do compression again, and you can do this multipressor, and this individual sections will be this is the different frequencies, as you see here, 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. So check, 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 check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 check, check, check. I solo that. Check, 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 check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 check, check. It's just that, or check, here. Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 check, check. And so you'll want to move these thresholds down just enough for these lines to be just barely moving. And once you do that, you'll go to there it is. You can use the limiter, which will actually bring the total volume up without going in the red. And so you can play with that. But once you get all that done, then you go to File, Bounce, Project or Section. Make sure it ends where you want it to end. You can do PCM, which will be a AIFF file, or you can do MP3, or you can do both. Click bounce, tell it where to go, and then you have your final mix. So there you have it. That's the very basics of sound and music recording. And obviously there's a ton of more information and probably a ton of questions you have on this sound and music recording. But go out and do your research, or if you have any comments or questions, leave them below. And this is very basic for new filmmakers. And so if you have any comments or questions, let me know. And please, if let new filmmakers not only learn from me, but learn from you as well. And maybe along the way I'll learn something from you. So thank you for watching.